Keanu Reeves donated 70% of his Matrix salary to cancer research. And honestly, this is probably one of the reasons why so many people love Keanu Reeves. Because it's like, you can kind of tell this guy's heart is always pretty much in the right direction, basically. So the patron saint of excellence does it again. Keanu Reeves donated a huge chunk of his earnings from the original The Matrix movie to cancer research, a new report claims. So Reeves 57 was reportedly paid $10 million up front for the 1999 sci-fi flick before earning a further $35 million when the movie became a box office blockbuster. According to Lad Bible, the actor donated 70% of the money, a whopping $31.5 million, to leukemia research. And here's the thing, right? In like a personal story, right? Having a family member that has dealt with leukemia, it's very brutal, right? Like bone cancer, right? Is like it is brutal, right? It is so brutal on the person. So it's pretty amazing to see someone in his position to where like he basically already set up like he's already financially set up like for life basically. And so he's able to allocate a lot of funds to causes that he cares about, that he personally has an interest in. And so I feel like for anyone who ends up getting to the point in their life where they're able to make so much money, where they're basically financially set for the rest of their lives, that they could also just focus on causes that matters to them, not just for like random charities, but like for specific reasons that matter to them. I think that's an amazing thing. And you got to understand this, right? Money is simply a tool to solve problems, right? So if you no longer have problems that money can solve, then you don't really have any more problems, for example, right? But there's other people that do have problems that might be able to be solved by money. So here's the thing, I don't know if leukemia will ever really truly be taken care of, but seeing people in this position donating large sums of money to that kind of cause is pretty cool to see, right? Because a lot of people who deal with leukemia will be dealing with it and then not really last long afterwards. So the cause was near and dear to Reeves' heart, as his younger sister Kim had been battling the disease for 8 years at the time he made the donation. And that's a very long time to be dealing with that. Kim was diagnosed with a blood cancer in 1991 and spent a decade in and out of treatment before finally entering. Now, the crazy thing about leukemia, for those that don't actually know about this, is that pretty much the way to solve it is to hopefully find a 100% match in terms of like your bone marrow, right? Which your own family members may not even be a 100% match. So you end up finding someone like that. Then you basically pump the donor with a bunch of like drugs where they basically end up like they combine these drugs within the blood where they end up basically replacing. Well, here's the thing, they basically have to do super heavy chemo on the person that's dealing with leukemia, and then they got to donate this basically drug infused blood into the leukemia patient to 100% replace their former blood, right? So all the donor's blood, well, not well, basically the way that it is like the donor has to give blood consistently to the patient, the leukemia patient, over time, and they do it to the extent where the patient, their blood, is now 100% the donor's blood, and you're basically crossing your fingers hoping that the body accepts that blood. And there's so many things that can go wrong with this. So like it's crazy. It's gotten better over years, but for those that don't like really understand, like this is an extremely brutal process, right? The amount of chemo that they have to deal with, the amount of drugs that they get shot up with, like it's insane. And also the whole time whether or not they can even find any match at all to actually be able to donate it. And even then, even if they were to find a match, that person has to agree to donate it. They might not just want to donate it. So it's pretty crazy. So Reeves has continued to give money to research in the years after Kim was cured, even creating his own cancer fund. And that's pretty awesome that, well, here's the thing. When you have leukemia, you're not really ever cured. You just basically go into remission and you're hoping that it doesn't come back. But it can always come back. And that's the scary thing. So the Speed Star secretly set up the nonprofit, which reportedly ran for years without any attention. I have a private foundation that's been running for 5 or 6 years and helps aid a couple of children's hospitals in cancer research. Reeves is quoted as telling Ladies Home Journal in 2009. I don't like to attach my name to it. I just let the foundation do what it does. And see, that's the ideal way to like run like a charity or a foundation is to be like not even associated with it, not even like linked up to it, but basically be like, hey, do what you guys gotta do to help out the world, you know? So meanwhile, in 2020, Reeves auctioned off a 15-minute Zoom date with himself. With the money donated to Camp Rainbow Gold, a summer program for Idaho children with cancer. The winning bidder purportedly paid more than $19,000 for the brief date with the Hollywood heartthrob. Unfortunately for the winning bidder, Reeves is off the market. He has been dating artist Alexandra Grant for several years. And the star also has a long friendship with actress Winona Ryder after they filmed directly together in the early 1990s. And the pair played lovers and their characters married in the movie. And in November last year, Reeves revealed the pair may actually be married in real life as a priest conducted the on screen nuptials in a church. Wouldn't that be funny? So, yeah, this is one of the reasons why Keanu Reeves, over the decades, has just been a fan favorite, right? You know, some people may not like The Matrix, some people might love The Matrix, but pretty much anything that Keanu Reeves has basically been a part of, people overall has generally liked it because the guy's just a good guy, right? And there's not really anything bad to say about them, and that's pretty cool, right? And it's pretty cool to see someone in his position do what he's doing. And he could do that because he's financially set off in a very well place. So if you want to learn how to get out of debt and master your money so that you could eventually get to the point where you have excess cash coming in to where you could do something generous. Not to this extent because it's very rare for someone to get to his position, but like even just like buying a meal for someone who's homeless or like potentially buying someone a car, I think that'd be pretty cool. And you could get to that point in your life eventually if you pay off your debt, have an emergency fund, and have money going towards investments so that you have cash flow coming in every single month so that you can basically do whatever you want with it.